and holding in the Chitas, or holding the first reading of the Parshas V'eschanan. Today is Sunday. We're holding in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 3, verse number 23. V'eschanan la Hashem Esahi Lamer, and I begged God, as Ash is going to explain, I begged God on that time, Beisahi at that time, saying. Ashi says the word eschanon, chinon, is used. It refers to a free gift. I'm asking the Eibishter, I'm asking God to give me something that I don't deserve. Although the righteous can rely on merits of their good deeds, they request from God only a free gift. Since God had said to Moshe, and I'll show favor when I choose to show favor. So he also spoke. So the God in 7 answers gave Moshe Rabbeinu an in V'eschanan. He already gave him the word. So he said V'eschanan. He said over here he used the words that maybe God will show pleasing, will show a gift. Another explanation. V'eschanan is one of the 10 expressions by which prayer is described, and this is brought in the Sifri. Be'esahi, at that time. Why at that time? After I conquered the land of Sichon and Og, which I eventually appointed to the tribes of Reuven and Gad, I imagine maybe that the vow forbidding me to enter the land might be annulled. There's many reasons why Rashi says this and why Moshe Rabbeinu thought at that time, because the truth is, the Eibishter allowed already the other side of the Jordan to be part of the Jewish nation's property. So he thought maybe it is already annulled. Lamer, now she says, this is one of the 3 verses, which Moshe Rabbeinu says to God, I'm not letting go. I'm not letting go until you answer the question. If you're going to do what I ask or not. Verse number 25. God, you've taken the initiative to show your servant as God your greatness. And your strong hand. Who is like you in heaven? It's in the land. That can do according to your actions, your masecha, your own acts, and your might. Now she says, Hashem Elokim. Over here we use the 2 names of God, Rachum Bedin. So it shows in the concept of mercy and justice. This is an opening. You took the initiative to show your servant an opening to stand and pray even when a decree had already been decreed. Moshe Rabbeinu says to God, if you have, I learned from you. You said to me after the people had sinned the golden calf, now let me be. Was I holding on to you? That I should let you be? Rather, you said this, providing me an opening. You in essence gave me the right that I don't have to let it be. That it's up to me. So now it's up to my prayer. So maybe I'm going to pray now. As God, you showed me your greatness. This is the attribute, as the Chassidus explains, this is the attribute God, Gedula, is chesed, is kindness. As it's brought down, now therefore let the strength of God be increased, chesed. Which is the hand of chesed, that's the right hand, which is outstretched to creatures of the world. You open up your hand to everybody. Hachazaka, one means that God has a strong hand. It means that you suppress the trait of justice, judgment. You overcome judgment with mercy. So I'm asking you to overcome your judgment with mercy. Hashemiyah b'shamayim, for who is thy God? You're not like a king of flesh and blood, who has advisors and counselors object when he wishes to act kindly. Regarding you, there's no one who can object if you would forgive me and annul your decree. According to it's a trait word free, meaning it means you began to show your servant and the conquest of the land of Israel, letting one lead the war against Sicham and Og. So you already showed all your kindness. So therefore, let me finish the job. You've shown that you can put these nations, that these countries were put into my hand. Look what I'll do with the 31 kings in Israel. Verse 25, let me go over, let me go and see the land. It's the other side of Jordan. This beautiful mountain, Valvanon, and the Lebanon. Now she says, Evra no, again, no. It's a concept of a request. It's not a demand, it's a request. What's the great mountain? What's the beautiful mountain? This is Yerushalayim. Valvanon, what means what he was Lebanon. Valvanon is Ze Beis Hamikdash. This is the temple. He wanted to see the Beis Hamikdash built Al Har HaBayis in the Temple Mount. But the Abishah got angry at me because of you. And he did not listen to me. And God said to me, Ravlach, it's enough. Do not speak to me about this anymore. Now she says he became full of anger. Because of you caused this to happen to me. It says they angered God at the waters of contention, and he punished Moshe on that account. Ravlach, what means Ravlach? It's an interesting expression. Rav is also a master. Ravlach, Hamahaush. This is suffice to you, so people will not say how harsh the master is and how stubbornly persistent is the disciple. They're going to say, look at that. They're going to talk about us. They're going to say, look, Moshe Rabbeinu doesn't give up, and God doesn't give in. Avracha, another interpretation of Ravlach means a positive. Harbim is a shamalach. Don't worry. A lot of goodness hidden for you, and you're going to receive unbelievable goodness. Go up the mountain and give a look. Look to the east and to the north and to the south and to the east. And see with your own eyes. You're not going to go over this river. She says, you requested me, let me see the good of the land. I will show it to you. I'll show you everything. And God showed him the land. Tzavis Yeshua, and then command Yeshua. And strengthen him, encourage him. Because he's going to go before this nation. He's going to inherit it for them. It's the land, which you will see. Now she said, with Tzavis Yeshua, command him. What are you commanding Yeshua? Command him with the words, so that it doesn't become disheartened and say, just as the Moshe Rabbeinu was punished because of them, so I'm going to also get punished because of them. Therefore, I promise him that he's going to make it over, and he'll bring the land, he'll divide the land to the Jewish nation. Hu Yaver, now she says over here also teaches us, Hu Yaver Lefneim. He has to pass before them. They will possess the land. But if not, if he decides not to do it, they will not possess the land. So we find when Yeshua actually sent people to conquer the land, and conquer Ai, while he stayed behind the camp, the men of Ai killed 36 of them. And Yeshua then fell upon his face and prayed. The Malach came to him. God told him, Kumlach, arise. Written Kumlach, it's implied you are the one who remains calm. What do you mean? What are you doing here? Why are you still in the camp? Why did you not go out with them to war? So God said, I made a commitment. I'm only going to make them win in war if you're going to be with them. And you decided for some reason to stay home. And that's what they said. That's what didn't I say to Moshe, your teacher, if you Yeshua pass it before them, they will pass. If not, they will not pass. So therefore, you always have to go out to war with them. Verse 29, move base part, and then we remain in the valley, opposite base part. What happened? And there you became attached to idolatry. But nevertheless, the next verse says, now Israel listened to the rules, indicating that they're all forgiven you. I, however, did not merit to be forgiven. Chapter 4, verse number 1. And now Israel listened to the commandments, and to the laws, which I'm going to teach you. Last says to do, so that you will live. Also, really, to come and inherit the land, which God, the God of your father, is giving. Verse number 2, do not add anything to it. That I'm commanding you, and do not take off any of it. To listen to the word, to the commandments of God, which I'm commanding you. Rashi says, what means you're not allowed to add? We know that the rabbis added 7 mitzvahs. The Chacham added many mahagim and many laws. So what does it mean, Leisa Sifim? Rashi says that it means Leisa Sifim Gechamish Pashla B'Tfilin. That we know that there's supposed to be 4 portions in Tefillin. Don't suddenly decide you're going to put 5 pashas. Chamish meaning V'Lulav. We know that I told you that there are 4 species in a lulav and esrog and on a rav and a dasim. Don't add. Chamish B'Tzitzis. Don't add 5 strings in the tzitzis. There's 4 doubled over is 8. Don't add another string. And so too, don't make it 3 portions. Don't make it 3. So you're not allowed to add once established a mitzvah. That's all Torah Sheba'al Peh. How do we know there were 4 pashas in the Torah? We know there are 4 pashas in the Torah because Torah Sheba'al Peh. Or Allah, that's Moshe Rabbeinu taught. So Moshe Rabbeinu said, once we establish 4 portions in the Torah, you're not allowed to add or subtract. Verse number 3, your eyes have seen all that I've done to in Baal Per, because any of those who went Avodah Zarah, worshipped Baal Per, those people were destroyed from your midst. Verse number 4, Atem Hadveikim Vashem Alekechem, and all you shall cleave to God. Chayim Kulchem Ayim, you're all here standing today. That's the Chumash of the day. Now go to the Tanya of the day, which is the 4th letter of the Alter Rebbe. Ein Yisrael Negolin, it says the Jewish people will not be redeemed, Ela b'tzedakah. Jewish people will be redeemed through charity. Shenemar, as the verse says in Isaiah, B'shavel b'tzedakah, Tzion b'mishpat tipada, Zion will redeem, Tzion will redeem justice, B'shavel b'tzedakah, and the captives with charity. So tzedakah, whose root connotates both righteousness and charity, because tzedakah also means tzedek, righteousness, but it also means tzedakah, charity. Thus brings about the redemption of the Jewish people from exile and their ultimate return to Zion. Because they're both going to be accomplished. Tzedakah has a double concept within it. There's a concept of righteousness. Giving tzedakah is righteous. So the same root appears in the next verse quoted. Siv tzedek lefonov yahalech. Tzedek shall be yahalech, shall go before you, yahalech. Really, if in Hebrew it should have said yelech. So now it should have been expected the verse to say yelech. Yelech, by contrast, is a causative form of the verb. Yelech means it's going to make you go, seemingly by implying that the righteousness or charity causes some other entity to go before him. So Yahalech means it goes by itself. So something that there goes by itself. To explain this concept, the verse says, on your behalf, my heart says, seek my face. Ashi explains it. The simple meaning of the verse is that on your behalf, and as your messenger, my heart tells me to seek out your face, meaning God's innards or innermost essence. From the word both face and interior, that's the pneumius, the essence, the interior. In this spirit, the verse concludes, your countenance, God, do I see, meaning I am indeed doing so. I'm seeking your countenance. So the Abish says, on your behalf, my heart says, is going to go out and seek godliness. And the verse ends that that's what I'm actually doing. I'm going to seek godliness. However, if Panay does in fact refer to God's countenance and innards, why is it necessary to conclude your countenance, God, do I seek? Surely it would suffice to say your countenance, do I seek? Since we have already informed that we're seeking God's countenance, so why do you need to say a double expression? That we're going to seek Lacha, Amma, Libi, Baksha, Panay, Baksha. It's saying a double. My heart says I'm going to search God. And then the verse ends, I am searching God. So what is the meaning? The Alter Rebbe therefore explains the word Panay, my face, refers to the inner of the Jewish heart, while Panecha, your countenance, refers to the innards of God. So there's a concept of God, Panecha, your face, and Panay is the face of the Jew. So L'cha Amali bi Bakshu Panecha. That's the way a Jew searches out God. And the Abisha says, by a Jew searching out through his innards, through his thirst out from his essence, God says, I'm going to show you my essence. As Panecha, Hashem, the Abisha Panecha. The Abisha says, I'm going to show you my face. Pirush, the Alter Rebbe says, Bakshu Pnimis Alev. This means that man is being urged to seek the innards of his own heart, that is hidden element within his own heart, that must be sought after it so to be revealed. For the flame element of the divine fire that is in the heart of every Jew, meaning within the heart and the love of God, which derive from the element of fire within the soul, as mentioned in Tanya. In the first chapter, in the first part, in chapter 3, Nusachacha, another way you can say it, Hine Bahalev, from the heart. You say the from the heart, the element of divine fire within the heart. Yes, bechinis ktsenis or bechinis pnimis. This in the parentheses. There are two aspects. There's the ktsenis, the outer external aspect of the heart, and then there's the pnimis, the inner aspect of the heart. Ktsenis alev. What is the outer aspect of the heart? He is slavish, hamislaveves, bechinis habina vadas. Is the added love that a Jew has, a love of God. That love comes on the account of one's understanding and of the greatness of God. Ain't safe the way God is infinite. It's burning that when a Jew meditates, do loss on God's greatness, and through his contemplation, he gives birth to Ava Aza, to a strong love. Kirish Be'esh, as a fire, as a flashing fire. But this is Chetzenis, the external level of godly soul, a revealed love of God in one's heart, which results from meditation and on God's greatness. But then you come to the innermost aspect of one's heart. The innermost point of the heart and the depth of one heart. What does that mean? This concept of the heart of a Jew is higher than all his contemplation and all his meditation. Because there's nothing that can really touch all my contemplation, all my meditation cannot touch the essence of my heart. Because the essence of my heart, my true aval to the Eibush, my true love of God is above comprehension. Is above even any understanding that I can have. There's nothing that can bring about my true essence, no contemplation and no meditation. So unaided, a man would never. So how do you bring out that? That's why we ask the Eibush to reveal the essence of my heart. Because no meditation, no contemplation and understanding can bring about the pnimis halev, the essence of a Jewish love to God. So unaided man would never able to achieve such a profound love through meditation alone. And that's why we learned in Tanya that a real Avas Hashem is a gift. Ava Ilah is a gift. It comes through our Ava, but it's a gift. That's Ava B'Tainugim. We learned that Avas of Tzadikim. So Ava B'Tainugim, the Ava delight is a gift. And we show merit to that gift. We should merit it even now. To have Ava B'Tanugim, to have a delightful love of God, a true love that comes to the essence of my heart, above kind of understanding. And it is granted to the soul as a gift, as we'll soon explain. But we learned this already also. And man's task and to search and discover it within himself. That's what we should have to beg the Eibishter, that God should give us this up, that we should merit this up. We should cause it, as it's brought down. And that's maybe connected to the parsha. That is what the Eibush, what Moshe Rabbeinu cries out today. He's not asking God, he's asking a gift. This is not a tit-tat situation. This is not what I deserve. Pashit, I love you, I love Edsol, I love Yidden. It's not above, it's not something that I can explain. And I cry out to God from the essence of my heart. From the depths of the heart. The depths appears plural. For the heart harbors depths, yet within profound depths beyond. So you have mamakim. Mamakim means from my depth, in my heart itself. I have the Chibseinis Alev and have the Primis Alev. And I want to cry out from the depth of the depth within the depth. I want to cry out the true depths of my heart. I cry out from the essence of my heart. To give you an analogy, you can give it a parallel to worldly matters. Sometimes it's an extremely important matter upon which man's entire vitality hinges. And it affects the essence of his heart. In the innermost aspects of his heart. That's it. There are certain things that touch a person to his essence. And that affects a person. That he'll do things that's above his nature. That's not normal. Because it affects the essence of it. And he'll say things that are above his mind, because it affects his essence. And it transcends logic, because this thing is negei belev. This thing is negei belev. The Rebbe would say this expression as tutvei shleitman. When something is painful, you scream. It's not normal to scream. Words of the wise are said in nachas, nicely and calmly, and that's when it doesn't tudvei, doesn't hurt you. Tudvei is something that touches you. You're gonna scream, and it's gonna scream. You're gonna scream, even though you're a chacham. Yeah, you're a chacham when it comes to your das, when it comes to your own knowledge, and you keep everything under control. But when it tudvei, something is painful, but it's painful to yourself, or you're a person that feels the pain of others, you start to scream. And thus, like this, the way that the Eibishter created this in the spirit, in the physical world, he created it in the spiritual too. That you have Avas Hashem, that you can comprehend the Ava, you can understand it. And then there's a deep ava to the Eibishter. It's like a burning fire that is above comprehension. There's no comprehension that can explain it. And the Alter Rebbe said that the analogy he gave in Tanya also, that Yidden that didn't keep Torah and mitzvahs went on Mesiras Nefesh. They went on self-sacrifice. They gave their life up, even though they didn't do everything that they were supposed to do. Why? Doesn't make rational sense. I can understand you're a Frum Yid and you do Torah and mitzvahs, so you're ready to give your life up. Why are you ready to give your life up something you're not doing? Because it has nothing to do with that. Because when it comes to the essence of a Yid, and he knows that he's going to have to walk away from it, he's not going to walk away from it. Why? I can't answer the question why. It's not a question you can ask a Jew. Why he's going to do that? Because he's a Yid. Because he's a Jew. And that's the essence of who he is. And that's the way it is. Spiritual realms correspond to the physical, just as the worldly feels sometimes touch a person too strongly. He acts without reason. So precisely, the service of the heart. A Jew love for God may be so great that it touches his soul's essence, which is utterly transcends logic and reason. Why? Because it is the essence of his heart. It is the essence of it's the essence core of the heart. That means, in essence, the truth is, that's what we learn in Chassidus. That's not on the Pnimis Alev. That's on his Chetzenis Alev. His mind over heart is the Chetzenis Alev. Pnimis Alev is much stronger. And that's why even the Chassidus says things that come from the heart then goes to your Mayach. Then it goes to your mind. And then from the Mayach, it goes to back to your heart. You cannot live with your Pnimis Alev. You ultimately need to come to Chetzenis Alev, that your love of the Eibishter comes through your contemplation and through your meditation. But really, we should all awaken up Pnimis Alev. We should all awaken up the Pnimis of every Yid. The truth is, that's what we're doing today, Tisha B'Av. We're sitting here mourning the destruction of the temple, something that thousands of years ago, and we realize that this is Golus, this is the pain of God, it's the pain of Am Yisrael. It's the pain of the Jewish nation. It touches the essence of every Jew this day. Until no other, it doesn't make logical sense why we continue doing this. But it doesn't. It's not about logic. So we have a connection to the Eibishter. We have a love of God. We have a love of spirituality, and we feel the lack of it. Churban Beis Hamikdash is the feeling, the lack of this spiritual revelation of godliness, which affects in all levels, whether it affects the spirituality itself and affects the physicality that we are in Gullus and everything that comes with this Gullus situation that we are in the present time. And that's the Geya that touches every Jew to the essence of him. That's where he goes. This is the attribute. This the essence of a Jew. The essence of his heart is above his attributes and his intellect. It's the essence of who he is. And an entire born for the three it's not something that's born for the three intellectual stages of wisdom, understanding, and knowledge that together constant intellectual process of Chabad. Rather, the pnimis of his heart is an aspect that radiates from the supernal Chachma, not from your Chachma. It comes from the Chachma of the Eibishter, Chachma Ilah, Chachma of the world of Atzilus. That's higher than our understanding. And you should realize that my pnimis alev, the essence of my heart, is hidden it's vested within it the actual light of God. As it's written, that God, the wisdom of God, founded the earth. So to the quoted Hebrew word literally means that God is Chachma, Hashem b'Chachma, meaning God's infinite light is closed in this Chachma. And this spark of God, this spark of Chachma, this ray of Chachma, of wisdom that comes from Atzilus, from Chachma Ilah, from the higher level of Chachma, is the spark of God, Shebachol Nefesh Yisrael, which is divinity, divine concept in every Jew around the world. So this divine spark utterly transcends reason, that gives birth to the love of God in the pnimius of the heart of every Jew. That likewise transcends reason, and therefore every Jew has a love of God that's above comprehension. That not only is above comprehension, no comprehension can give birth to it, because it's a love that transcends your comprehension, and therefore it's a power within it that's above any concept of comprehension. That's all we need. We need to try, not only to awaken up a love through intellect, through our intellect, but we should try to cry out, Mimamakim Korasich Hashem, the depths of the heart. We should cry out to God to awaken up a love that's above and beyond own comprehension. And that's going to have, the Alter Rebbe is going to continue, as Panecha Hashem Avakish, it's going to wake up the Eibishter's love, the Eibishter's essence, and it's going to respond essence to essence. And my friend, that completes the Tanya of the day. Today is the 9th day of Av. Tillim of the day is chapter 49 to chapter 54. If you do those chapters, you do the chitas of the day. Today, in the Hayoim Yoim of today, the Rebbe writes, every year Tisha B'Av, Frierdiker Rebbe is writing this, every year Tisha B'Av, my father studied Eicha, in a section of Yechanan in chapter Hanazikin. In the morning after Kinnis, he would say them all. He would say the whole Kinnis, the booklet of Kinnis that we say after Shachris. He said Eicha, then he said the Eicha that we say the night before. He was called to the Torah from after, sometimes both on Shachris and Mincha, because we read the Torah today, both by Shachris, both by Mincha. And like Yom Kippur, we read them after, both by Shachris and both by Mincha. It's not a usual thing. Usually on fast day, we do Haftarah only at Mincha, but today we did it at Shachris, and we do it again at Mincha. It's a different Haftarah, and it's different Kriyas Torah. Also, we do a fast day. Also, we do two times Kriyas Torah. We don't do them, but we do the same Haftarah. We do the same reading of the Torah, both on Shachas and Mincha, but not today. Today we read Pasha Reschanon, or we read actually not today's, but in this week's Pasha, Yisei Lubanim, and we do Haftarah also. So I want to wish you all a meaningful fast, and Mitshem will all come together tomorrow. 8 o'clock, we'll continue to learn the Chitas of the day. Have a wonderful and meaningful fast, and be careful. It's hot out there, so don't dehydrate. God bless you.